Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm PJ with Green's Funeral Home here in Dillon, and I want to bring before you just a few things that I'd like to share with you. And some of those things are questions that people within the community have come to us to ask these questions. So I'm going to share some of those with you. And as I have said before, this is just for information. There's no pressure involved and there's no obligation. This is just information that you might want to have and you might want to share with somebody later on. It may be virtual to you. First of all, um, we are, as funeral directors, governed by the state and the state laws. And the body who governs us is called LLR, and that stands for Labor, Licensing, and Regulations. And we're governing by that board. It's the Funeral Service Board. The Funeral Service Board is under the guidelines of LLR. And I just want to let you know that one of the most important things that you might not think about right now, but at some point in time it's going to come before you, is how to choose a reliable funeral home. How to choose a funeral home. Well, first of all, let's start at the beginning. With LLR and their regulations, if you are going in to make any type of arrangements or you're going in to talk to what you believe to be a funeral director, then that funeral director should have license by LLR. Uh, there's two ways of you finding that out. Uh, You can see their license hanging on the wall, or they carry a licensing card in their wallet or in their pocketbook, and they will be glad to show it to you so that you know that you are talking to a licensed funeral director. Only a licensed funeral director can make reservations, not reservations, but make regulations and can give you information about the pricing of a funeral and how much it costs. At that point, you're only supposed to be talking to a funeral director. Anybody can work at a funeral home. There's no stipulations on who can work there, but there are stipulations on who you can discuss prices with. And you can only discuss pricing with a licensed funeral director. When it comes to choosing a funeral home, you want someone that is reliable, someone who you can go and speak with, and someone that you can count on whenever they uh, tell you something that's going on. And a lot of times they may not know the answer, but they know how to get the answer. And that's what you want. You want someone who either they know the answer or they know where to get the answer from that you're looking for. Uh, a good question that has come before us is, well, what do I do when someone passes away or when I'm looking for a good funeral home? How do they approach you, or how do you act when you approach them? If you're walking down the street or you see them in the grocery store or just on your day-to-day routine and you run into them, do they have time to talk to you? Or you feel like you're being brushed off? Or do they have time to just make small talk with you and make you feel comfortable? If so, then that's one of the things that you might want to consider in making that choice. When you ask a question, can you get an answer, or can you get a phone number of contact if you need to talk to that person? I mean, make sure that you are comfortable with that person even before there is a death that occurs or something happens that you don't want to be comfortable with. Make sure you're comfortable talking to that person. A lot of people choose a funeral home because that's what their family is used to dealing with. That's what they always dealt with. Well, that may not always be the case. Uh, Let you make up your own mind as to who you want to choose. And when I say make up your own mind, uh, the time for you to meet and feel comfortable with a funeral director is not at the time that you have someone that passes away and the first person you look to see is the funeral director. That's not a good practice. If you already have somebody in mind, then you call that person and don't let them show up to you because at that time you're vulnerable. You might make a choice that you can't live with or you want to change your mind and you feel like, well, I've already called this funeral home and I can't make any changes now. Well, yes, you can. State law says you can make that choice, but there's ways in doing it. Okay, there's particulars in doing that. That's why you need to sit down with your funeral director, and they will advise you on these things. So I just want to get that out to you. I have several different things that I think that you uh, will be very happy to hear. I'm not here to try to convince you one way or another to use anybody or to hire anybody as your funeral director. I'm here to make sure you do the right thing and go about it the right way because that's a choice once you've done it. There are no do overs. You can't do it over again. So you want to make the right choice. Make you an appointment with the funeral director to talk to him about these things, him or her. And when I say funeral director, I mean him or her. You know, it could be male, it could be female. But make sure that you make an appointment, sit down and talk with them, ask them the questions that you've always had, and now is the chance for you to ask those questions. Uh, Write them down so that when you go to them, you don't leave anything out. Um, we're here because we genuinely care. We care about our families. We care about the industry of funeral service, regardless of some of the things you may hear. I come from a long line of funeral directors. Uh, my mother and father, who are both deceased now, uh, both of them were funeral directors. And my father made sure that uh, my sister and myself were also licensed funeral directors. So growing up, there were 4 funeral directors in my household. And we were very, very appreciative about that once we got to be of age to follow in our parents' footsteps and try and do the right thing. And you know, a lot of times when you're trying to do the right thing, you're not as popular as the people who are doing it not for themselves or not for the business sake, but just to be out there. Everybody that you see that's working at a funeral home is not a licensed funeral director. So you want to be careful because there are different kinds of people out there, and I'm not making any uh, negative comments about anybody, but I'm just saying that things are the way they are in this world. So we want to stick by the right things to do as being a funeral home and being funeral directors. If you don't speak to me about something to do with funeral service, you can certainly talk with my sister. We're both licensed funeral directors. So please come in, call, make an appointment. We'll be glad to talk to you. And just because you have done business with somebody else in the past, that don't let that stop you from coming in and sitting down and just talking about it. Uh, Things are doing well, and we want you to continue to do well. Um, that is basically, in short, the things I want to go over with you today. And I just want to say that it's good to see everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is staying warm. If you are not comfortable at night, if you're not warm, let somebody know. Let somebody know that might be able to help you. We don't want anybody to not be comfortable. We come to you from Green's Funeral Home here in Dillon, and we're concerned about whether you're doing business with us or not. We're still concerned about you. We want you to prosper and do well, and we will be coming with you periodically with other videos. I have some other videos lined up that I think you'll be very interested in. And my next one, I know you'll be interested in. So just stay with us. Uh, want you to be blessed. I want you to make sure that you watch out for the other guy, especially when you're driving. Watch out for the other fella because sometimes they don't pay attention to what they're doing. But we're here to help you when you need guidance. Our role is to bring you clarity and comfort in your time of need. And I want to thank you for your time and I want to thank you for your patience. So until our next video, I will say I want you to take care and be blessed. Bye bye now.